A conversation about food prices.
Hey, Lucas. Did you go grocery shopping today? Did you remember to get some rice?
Yeah, I did go, Emily, but I didn't get any rice. It was so expensive. I don't know what's going on. They must have raised the price again. Anyway, I didn't have enough money on me. I'll have to get some next time. I seriously can't believe how much food prices have gone up lately.
I know, and I'm guessing that we'll probably see them go even higher.
Really? What makes you think that?
I read this magazine article, and it seems that over the past, 5 or 10 years, food prices have been rising significantly faster than the norm.
Emily, I could have told you that. I think it's pretty obvious to anyone who shops. I feel like prices in general are out of control. But I'd say it's especially true of food prices. Someone really has to do something about it.
If you ask me, I think food shortages are the root of the problem.
Well, if food supplies are inadequate, here's an idea. Why don't they just start planting more food on more land?
You're assuming that there's ample land to be cultivated, but there isn't. According to what I read, it's become apparent to scientists that, over the past 40 years or so, the planet has actually been losing land that's suitable for agriculture. As much as a third of it has been lost due to pollution, lack of water, and other reasons. And there are quite a few other factors that have coincided, putting a lot of pressure on current food production.
What kind of factors?
Hold on. Let me grab my phone and find the article. Okay, here we go. So, one big factor is the economic success of developing countries. India and China, for example, have growing middle classes. Those are people with extra money to spend, and the middle class is inclined to eat more expensive foods.
Yeah, that's only natural. If we had more money to spend, I'm sure we'd opt for more expensive things too. Like today, I would have brought home lamb for dinner, and I certainly wouldn't have had any trouble buying rice. I guess we're not middle class yet.
No, not yet, I don't think. For now, I think it's best that we stick to our budget. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, so as I was saying, now that these new middle classes find themselves moving up in the world and they have more financial freedom, they're opting for more expensive foods like meat and dairy products.
I don't see how that would affect the price of rice, though. And what does it have to do with the surge in the prices of other foods?
Well, it says in the article that it takes about 3.2 kilograms of grain to get half a kilogram of meat, so an enormous amount of grain goes to feeding cattle and dairy cows. So, I guess, with more people eating meat and dairy, that leaves less grain on the market for people to buy. And if there's less grain, the price goes up.
That's the law of supply and demand, right? If there's a demand for something but a low supply of it, it gets more expensive.
Exactly. And since a lot of people depend on grains like rice and wheat for a large portion of the calories they need, that kind of shortage is a significant problem. I think I read that about 42% of all the calories humans take in come from rice, wheat, and corn. Anyway, getting back to my point, if grain prices exceed what people can afford to pay, it could be a painful situation. We're going to be in trouble.
Okay, so why don't they do something about it? Somebody needs to make sure people have access to food at reasonable prices, don't you think?
Well, governments have done some things. For example, some governments have called for restrictions on exports. That way, more food stays in the country for their people.
That makes sense.
You know, I heard that some climate experts are predicting a future scenario where large areas in Africa and Asia become deserts. That could be disastrous if the land gets too dry to grow crops on, I mean.
Wow, are you kidding? That's insane. Something needs to be done about it before it's too late.
Well, scientists say the only answer is to increase the amount of food grown on existing farmland.
How can that be accomplished, though?
Well, they recommend that every country increase agricultural output. That means better water management, better fertilizer management, and using GM crops.
Maybe you're right. What's more important than food?
I know, I agree. Do you want me to forward you the article?
No thanks, Emily. I think you've already told me everything I need to know.